Hello everyone, I am back once again, and today I'm going to be showcasing another Wi-Fi match for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Now, I think it's also worth noting that I am doing this in Scarlet and Violet territory now, but it should also be noted that I'm also not going to be playing Scarlet and Violet just because, basically what I mentioned in the last video, the starters are not that great. The way the game functions is definitely not great, although I didn't say that actually. I think I just said I didn't like how the characters looked in most cases, but it's also just the fact that the game doesn't run very well and looks very choppy, at least compared to what you're seeing here in my video with this match. So obviously because of that, I decided not to get the games, at least until there's a reasonable price drop, or if there's a patch that fixes the performance issues that the games have, or in the most unlikely case scenario, get the game for free. But obviously that's not going to happen because I don't know anyone who's capable of giving me such a game for free, honestly, especially when the game costs 60 bucks, honestly. There's a reason why I'm not getting it, is because paying 60 bucks for a game that runs like horseshit is just not it for me, honestly. I have the money for it and in abundance, but I just don't feel it's worth my money. You know that I'm a sucker for quality in a bunch of things, honestly, so games are not necessarily the exception. So yeah, so anyways, in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I stay, obviously. Anyways, my opponent for this match, by the way, is going to be Skyrander. He's actually a content creator on YouTube, obviously, so it's actually interesting that this is the second time I actually run into a content creator in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. But yeah, so the odd thing here is that I know Skyrander is a very good battler, and he's also very notable in the community because he's also done draft leagues as well. He did not specify a tier for this match, so because of that, I decided to use this OU team, and what he ends up bringing out is something completely unexpected. I was expecting something along the lines of a try-hard OU team, but he ends up bringing something far too lenient, which kind of makes me feel comfortable, but at the same time a little concerned, particularly because I'm a little worried that he might actually pull off the Heisenberg and actually like destroy me with this team, because there's people who use teams like these and actually manage to go a long way with it against the try-hard OU teams, and I've been a victim myself of that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was the only thing I was worried about. But because he didn't specify a tier, it was also kind of like making me wonder, huh? But who knows, maybe he was trying to surprise me here. Either way, this match, being the 6th match on my channel that I showcase outside of Draft League, makes this match all the more cursed, honestly. But yeah, so anyways, the mon I'm gonna lead with here is Rotom, because I was gonna say he has no Volt Switch immunity, but he does have Claydol. But if Claydol is the lead, I just go for Hydro Pump, obviously, and the Claydol I want to believe is not going to appreciate a Hydro Pump from Rotom, even though I don't think it's offensively invested, honestly. I think it's actually bulky, if I remember correctly. I actually don't remember because it's been a while since I actually had this match. But yeah, here we go. So he's going to lead off with a Magmortar, which is fine. I lead off with Rotom. Again, a lot of things are favorable for Rotom here, honestly. Even the Claydol, honestly. So I decided to go for the Hydro Pump right here. I was thinking of going for Volt Switch, but honestly I didn't see any reason to go for Volt Switch, even if he went into like Altaria or something, because I would just be able to Volt Switch that later. So here we go. He actually is going to go for the Solar Beam, and it is going to be boosted by Power Herb. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be Power Herb, but it was actually. Like, I was kind of hoping he wouldn't have it Power Herb, and he was just predicting me to like stay in or something. But no, he had a Power Herb, and this actually did a lot of damage. But the good news is that I don't have to worry about Solar Beam again. Had he set up the Sunny Day, then he would actually put me in a very terrible situation. In fact, I'd argue that he'd probably even shut down my Rotom entirely, because the Hydro Pump, it would be able to take it a lot well, since, you know, the power of water type moves are hindered by the sun, obviously. But instead, he doesn't have that, and instead it's just going to go for this Thunderbolt, and I'm just going to go for the Hydro Pump, and this actually one-shots this thing, surprisingly enough. I don't know why, but I kind of thought this thing was actually going to be able to take it, honestly. Turns out it couldn't, so that's actually kind of insane. So, damn. But, yeah, okay, so here, I don't remember what he sends in, but he's actually pretty quick on his plays, actually. So, that's another thing that makes this match a little bit interesting. I think he goes into Altaria, but I'm not really sure. It's been a while since I had this match, so. Listeri, who is that? Yeah, okay, so it was the Altaria, thank goodness. So, here, I was thinking, should I stay in and just sack this thing? I was thinking, like, maybe if I was even gonna need this Rotom. I was looking at this team and I figured maybe I'll I could be able to use it. Maybe I can use it for the clay doll, so that, you know, in order to discourage it from going for earth powers and whatnot, because the rest of my team isn't exactly immune to earth power. So, and I actually don't remember how powerful clay doll was, but I'd imagine a stab earth power would be quite devastating for my team, at least like if I don't want to switch things in and whatnot. So because of that, I think I just hard switch out, and I think I go into Nidoking here, because I wanted to believe that I can take a Dragon Claw. Usually that's kind of what I expect from Alterias, because usually they're of the Dragon Dancing variety, but in this case, this Altaria actually seems to be a special attacking one and has Draco Meteor. And this Draco Meteor, despite it being stabbed, did almost nothing to Nidoking. Like, it did far less than I was expecting, honestly. I was expecting it to take me down to the red, or even take me out entirely, but that's not even close to the case, so I was just like, damn. So because of that, I stayed in and just went for the Ice Beam, because I figured I'll be able to outspeed this thing, and if it's Scarfed, I want to believe I'd be able to take it, given how well I took it when it was before it got the -2, you know, on special attack. He is gonna hard switch it out, and he's gonna go into this Crawdont. Yeah, there we go. And obviously, I was afraid of the Swords Dance attempt. I was looking at my team to see if I had any options, but you're gonna see that later. I realized that no, I don't have options when it comes to Crawdont, so I stayed in and just went for the Sludge Wave, because, you know, again, I was anticipating the Swords Dance, and it looks like he might have actually tried going for it, because he actually does stay in and does not go for the Aqua Jet, which I want to believe might have actually been able to take out my Nidoking, honestly. Well, actually, it definitely was. What the hell am I saying? Yes, it does. I already took damage from the Draco Meteor, obviously, so I'm definitely going to lose the Nidoking to an Aqua Jet. Maybe because of that is why he thought I'd switch out, honestly, because he knew I was going to lose this Nidoking, and this Nidoking was putting in a lot of work, honestly. But yeah, so yeah, he loses the Crawdont, so that's Crisis Averted. I think that was a do or die moment right there, because if I actually did not get that Sludge Wave off and did not take out this Crawdont, I probably would have. He probably would have gotten the Swords Dance up and just Aqua Jet spam my entire team, and then that would have been the whole game basically. So if I didn't do something there, I basically lost the whole match. But now, because I took it out, now I don't gotta worry about it. So that was a little scary, actually. Anyways, he's gonna bring out this this thingamabobber, this Dusknoir. I went for Earth Power. I thought he was gonna go for Trick Room after taking the Earth Power, but he actually ended up going for Calm Mind, which makes me feel all the more comfortable of taking this thing out, because it turns out that even if he had Trick Room, he wouldn't have even had Earthquake. So, damn, because Earthquake was what I was fearing from this Dusknoir, since I know they get it, honestly. I just wasn't sure if he'd have it or not. But yeah, here comes the Altaria again, and this thing I just decided to stay in and try to Ice Beam it. I was confident I could outspeed it, and if it's Scarfed, it's going to be at -2 if he tries to go for a Draco Meteor. There was also the possibility of it going for Earthquake, but that's kind of why I wanted to see if he would go for it. And if it was Scarfed, then I would have just been able to send in Rotom. But yeah, he's just going to go for the Draco Meteor again and be at -2 again, which kind of makes me wonder, like, why didn't he just go for Earthquake? Unless he didn't have it, of course. Maybe that's why he went for it. He probably didn't even have Dragon Pulse either, honestly. So, yeah. But, yeah, I lose Nidoking, which is fine, honestly, because I have a lot of options, honestly, here. I'm just thinking of what I want to send out to put in work and whatnot. Like, do I want to go Garchomp? Do I want to go, like, something else? I was really just picking my poison right here. Obviously, going in the Garchomp would be suboptimal, because even though it's at -2, it's still super effective, and there is the chance of critting, which would ignore the -2 drop. So, yeah, I went into Weavile ultimately. I know it's Scarf, so I just went for the Icicle Crush anyway, because, I mean, it's at -2, so I'd be able to definitely live a Draco Meteor after this. So, yeah, here he's going to switch out, obviously, and I believe he's going to switch into the Clay Doll for some reason. I don't know why, honestly. Maybe because he was expecting me to go for the Ice Shard instead. But I'm pretty convinced that this thing would have been able to take it out anyway. Like if I went for Ice Shard right here, I don't believe a Clay Doll will ever be Scarfed, by the way. So I figured I could just go for the Icicle Crush right afterwards, honestly. Now here, I was thinking of going for the Brick Break here, but I decided to just go for the Throat Chop, because I don't really like to go for super effective hits on Pokemon that are, like, very low in HP. But unless I hate them, obviously. But in this case, that doesn't really apply to Clay Doll, but I felt like if I went for Brick Break, given how bulky Clay Dolls can be, it would resist the hit and then probably go for something scary like maybe a Trick Room or something. So obviously I just had to take it out one way or another. He is now going to bring out the Altaria, and again, I just have to go for the Ice Shard here, because obviously I know this thing is Scarf now and I don't want Weavile to take any unnecessary damage, so I just go for the Ice Shard and take this thing out. Now here, this is gonna lead him to his last Pokemon, which is the, I believe the Sudowoodo, yeah. Now this thing, these things can be sturdy, so because of that, I actually decided to go for the Icicle Crash to see if I can make this thing flinch, and then possibly take it out with the Brick Rake, which I want to believe I could because the Weavile is still Expert Bill, I think. So yeah, I go for the Icicle Crash here, and would you look at that, I actually do get the flinch, which is actually amazing considering my RNG luck in Generation 8 has always been pretty terrible, honestly, as proven by my previous videos. But yeah, here I'm just gonna go for the Brick Break, and thankfully that's enough to take it out, and that's gonna be the whole game. We're gonna win this match 5-0, crazily enough. But it actually makes sense, so it's not even that crazy now that I think about it. This guy was clearly at a disadvantage from the get-go, but I was kind of worried that this guy would Heisenberg me to death or something. But thankfully that didn't actually end up happening, and the match actually felt pretty easy going, if anything. But yeah, so interestingly enough, this match, I was actually not going to showcase it on my channel, but the reason I did was for two particular reasons. First of all, because this guy would be the only other content creator that I faced in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and the second reason is because unlike a lot of content creators who usually don't like to upload their losses, especially of this magnitude, this guy actually went out of his way to actually showcase his side of the match, which I'll link in the description below along with his handles and all that good stuff, because honestly, damn. Like, people like that usually have my respect just because they show signs of humility, and honestly, I have a lot of respect for players like that. That's one of the reasons why I actually followed players like the Killer Nacho, because he was also another player who wasn't afraid of showcasing his losses like most of the people in this community. Although I think this is mostly an American thing, honestly, because, by the way, for those who don't know, Skyrander is actually European, but I feel like most Americans are usually the ones that don't want to upload their losses because I guess they're full of themselves or some shit like that, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, anyways, thank you for the match, Skyrander, and I did offer this guy a rematch because this match was kind of unfair in my opinion, but he said, nah, he's good, honestly. And right now he's currently enjoying Scarlet and Violet from the looks of it, so yeah. It is what it is, obviously. Either way, thank you for the match, and thank you for showcasing your side of the match, even though I really feel like you didn't need to, but you did anyway, so props to you on that. Anyways, once again, thank you all for watching this match, and hope to catch you guys for another match whenever I get to it. For now, just take it easy and have yourselves a good one.